Hello and welcome to Taheton Farms. We're back with another episode of Taheton County, and today we're going to be knocking out the rest of the little cornfield harvests that we got, and I think I am going to attempt to use course play on these little fields, mostly out of curiosity to see how well it's going to work, and partially out of the desire to just get this stuff knocked off. We've got a lot of different jobs that we need to do today, so we want to make sure that we're doing so efficiently. And for little fields like this, I feel like course play is actually going to be able to do a pretty good job. So I'm going to go ahead and just let it get started here. We're going to back up a couple feet here. There we go. And similarly over here on this little field, we're going to do the same thing. And there we go. Hopefully this is going to go pretty quick and without any issues. We are going to just have to at some point ignore some of the Rowcrop shenanigans so that we can get some work done here. And part of the reason why I wanted to go ahead and get those guys working on that is not just so we can get them moved on to this bigger field, but also so that I can free myself up to try out a new piece of equipment here that we've gotten. We took out a $750,000 loan to pick up a new 9620R and this high-speed disc, which we're going to be using out in our soybean fields. I have typically ignored tillage on the soybean fields, at least in the past, just because if the ground didn't require the plowing state, I was doing more of a direct drill, which does maximize our precision farming. But I think the high-speed disc is going to do that as well. I don't recall if this is going to give us any benefits though. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to think about this. We've got a couple of fields of beans that we did, and I think there's this one that we're about to jump into now, and then the big one down here. So we're going to try and, I think, manually tackle this field, and then we'll jump into using course play on the other one. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the tillage. I'm going to get lined up on our fence line here, and we're going to try and tackle this. I don't actually know the answer to this. Do you tend to go at an angle with a high-speed disc, or would you go straight down the rows? That's something I know with traditional tillage, you might try and go at a few degree angle to the row. I don't know if it's going to matter as much with a high-speed disc here as it would with traditional tillage, but let me know in the comments if you know. That's something that would be new to me for sure. Gonna go ahead and, oops, no, we don't want to set that much of an angle. Let me back up a little bit here. We got to get back over on our track now that we've set the wrong GPS angle. It's going to irk me if we end up going the wrong way. It's so much more difficult to set the direction with an articulated tractor because it tends to bounce back a little bit. Let's see if I'm close enough to the fence line here. Looks like I'm just pushing it. We're gonna take it though. Awesome, and this thing is going 9. I think I can go 11. Let me give myself a couple of gears here. Maybe we'll try and go up into 15th gear. Oh, we're going 14 miles an hour. Look at that. Can I go any faster? 14 seems to be the limit. We're going to drop that back down into 15th gear. That seems to be the sweet spot for us here right now. And yeah, we're rocking and rolling. This thing is really cruising on this field here. I'm liking it. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride looking at how much that tractor is bouncing and jostling there. That's okay. And then, man, I don't know. I think we're going to skip a row or two as we come back around here, just because that's a fairly significant turn. Looks like we skipped one row. That should work out pretty good for us. We'll do skip rows down the field here, and then we can bring it on back. Now, while we're driving down here, I'm kind of curious to see if we can spot our combines. I see one is way over there in the distance. It's kind of hard to make out. I'm worried he's stuck. and the other one is still going around the headlands. That looks like he's doing all right. We're gonna have to grab that grain cart in a minute and head on out just to make sure that they're not getting full. I expect that the combines are going to be able to knock their fields out in a couple of hoppers each, and we should definitely be able to get everything into the grain cart, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't know exactly how we're going to do the headlands yet on this, but I'm just kind of winging it right now. We'll come back and hit those headland passes after we're done doing our up-down rows. And I still don't see the combine over on this little hill, or I see it and it's just stuck. So we're going to have to tab over there and fix him, I think, when I get to the end row, just because I don't want to be missing out on time harvesting here. Part of the goal of doing it this way is that the combines are running and getting that job done while we're doing this job. So if we're not running all of our equipment, we're kind of failing at trying to do things efficiently here today. He did indeed get stuck on the fence here, it looks like. So let's pop this up, and I'm going to go ahead and stop him for a minute here. And then I'm going to just bring him in on the corner like so. I should be able to set him out on nearest waypoint. Just like that. I think we'll be good to go now. Shouldn't be too much of a struggle. And as long as I'm here, let's bounce over here. We're only about half, so it looks like he's going to be able to finish this field, I think. We'll let him keep doing his thing. And I'll jump back over here, and we'll get this high-speed disc moving again. Now I've got GPS turned on here, but we're going to turn it off so I can navigate around the power pole here. And maybe I'll just tackle this as long as I'm here. Ooh, don't get too close. Oh, that was really close. Not used to how much this thing trails for responding to the turn. A combination of articulated vehicle and a rather long tongue on this high-speed disc. But we'll get going here. Oh, we're way off track. There it is. We'll have an easier time of it now that we've gotten that little bit out of the way. And I suppose we're just going to drag this thing through the waterway. I guess in reality I'd lift up as we go through that. Maybe we'll try to remember to do that on the next pass there. But so far, so good. It looks like our combine is handling the second headland pass over on that side pretty well. I did notice that the combine on this little field was having to back up on the headland passes. That's unfortunate. That means that we don't have enough headlands. I think when we go to do the big field, I'm going to need to remember that we planted 2 planter passes with that big 24-row planter, so I should really be taking 4 headland passes off before we start on the up-down rows. Now that will also make it have enough room for us to turn around, I think. Now let's remember to lift up as we get to the edge there and put it back down. I don't know that that was worth it. See if we can handle the curve a little bit better this time. Get that little bits that we missed, and right back onto the little bit of an up-down row that we've got right here. Perfect. We'll lift up, and whoa, GPS got me there. See if I can make this turn regardless. And we're off onto the next row. Well, it looks like I ran into, or not actually ran into, but got way too close to this power pylon. So we're gonna go ahead and pause for a moment here. I'm gonna circle around, see if we can just take care of some of this so I don't have to struggle with it next time. I can just swerve to avoid it. And one of the things I've noticed while we're doing our up-down rows here is, I guess shouldn't be surprised, but you can see the pattern of the crop rows on the ground. Oh, that thing doesn't even have collisions. Well, I guess that's good to know. But you can see all the rows even though we're doing tillage, which I didn't expect for some reason. I don't know why I didn't expect that, but it is what it is. It makes sense now that I think about it. And I'm all over the place here. I'm trying to back up, and we're going to get in here and just get on our next row. That row was in such an awkward spot because of the power lines here, but the subsequent rows will be much easier to handle now that we've got all of that hassle out of the way, I'll say. And I think we're kind of done with the up-down rows. The next passes over will be better suited doing them as part of the headland passes, I think. So we're going to start focusing back in on the in-between rows here, which will be a lot easier turning into because we've got the visual indicator. But we're going to probably take a pause here real quick. It looks like the combine in front of us here is all filled up and waiting to be emptied. And I'm guessing the other combine is actually done over in that other field, or at least pretty close to done. It might have like 3 or 4 feet left, it looks like, on the corner there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to finish, getting this awkward spot taken care of, and then we're going to try and go up here and get the grain cart and bring it out here so we can get all of our combines emptied and set up to start harvesting on that big field here shortly. We can continue running the tillage here on our own after we get everything else moving and grooving. Another thing that I did off camera this episode when I was buying our other equipment is I actually upgraded this quad track. Somehow we had a 440 quad track here, and I brought it up to a 740, I want to say. Let me double check that. Yeah, we're a 640, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of new stuff coming out. This a 640, and that gave us a lot more power, which was necessary to haul this big balzer when it's all full of corn. We were struggling on some hills for sure with this in the previous episode here, and we didn't even have it all filled up. So this is going to work out a lot better for us. And I'm just noticing when I edited the tractor, or took it in to get it upgraded, I should say, we got our license plates turned back on. I hate that it defaults to having license plates on, and every time you make a modification in the garage, you end up having some of those options reset. And so if I come in here and we customize this again, I can turn those off by coming in here, doing this, okay, make sure nothing else gets reset while we're in here, and customize. And then of course it's going to drop my trailer off, so let's get that hooked back up and we're good to go. It looks like we are all emptied here, so I just need to get across the road over to our other tractor there. And here we are. It looks like he pulled over, very thoughtful of him. Make it easier for us to sneak in here and get him unloaded. This thing is quite the unwieldy grain cart. Without the steering on the cart, I don't think we'd be able to get in here and do what we need to do as easily. I'm also glad that these combines unload as fast as they do. Otherwise, we'd spend a lot of time waiting around. We've got some much slower combines in some of our other series that we've run in the past, and these X9s have performed admirably well, I have to say. We're almost up to 25%. We're getting a little bit more corn off of this field here that we're on than I was expecting. Back on up here, see if I can get out of the way before this guy turns back into his rows. And I suppose I'll leave him out here just because I know we're going to have some more corn coming out of this combine, and I don't want to deal with trying to unload him up in the yard. So I'm going to park this thing right up here on the hill where there's less of a slant, and we might as well get this guy folded up and brought back up to the farm real quick. There's nothing else to do in this field. I'm not worried about the 1 or 2 corn stalks that are left here and there. I think we'll be fine. And we just need to get going on man, what do you call it, on this big field. But I'm going to wait until both combines are done and ready before we dive into that big field, because everything works out better when they kind of run staggered side by side. And if we start one off way ahead of the other one, then you're going to end up with this awkward skipped rows, and all the workers don't tend to handle trying to navigate around lots of missing crops. I did turn off traffic on the map at some point because it was really messing with our auto drive courses. And on a big map like this, we're going to start using auto drive more and more to send our equipment around on the map. And I just hate having to constantly deal with the traffic mishaps and such. We're going to be trying to get this running as smoothly as possible here this series, and anything we can do to help automate things on the big farm here is going to come in handy. Now, as long as we've got this up here in the yard, we're going to give it a quick spray down. It got quite dirty quite quickly there, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of our equipment. I always get yelled at in my videos for how dirty the equipment gets sometimes, so here you guys go. We're getting it cleaned up. And we're back out here with the high-speed disc. You know what? This is such a nice shot. Let's go ahead and get a screenshot for the thumbnail. Now you guys will know exactly where it came from. The lighting is somewhat crazy at the moment with the way the clouds are. Even though we're into October, I kind of expected a little bit brighter lighting. I know that we kind of get into that dreary fall day look. I probably lifted that up just a bit early too. We could have gotten a few more feet out of that. That's all right. That'll be a problem for the headlands, I suppose. We'll have a lot of cleanup to do as we go around and try and get this field completed at the very end. We'll be doing a lot more freehanding around the headlands. No GPS to help us with the curvy fields that we've got here. And just looking over at the other field there in the distance, I'm not sure yet if that combine's going to finish before he gets full. I think so. I don't see a pile of corn in the hopper. He's at a pretty good angle on the side hill there for me. So I think we're good. I think he'll be able to finish out that little bit of a corner, and then we can get him unloaded. I'm probably going to have to bring it back up here and clean up this mess that he left in the corner of the field up on this end, though. That seems like more than a few stalks of corn. That's a pretty significant amount, and I don't want to leave that much corn on the field. So we don't love the deer that much. And this one's going to be an awkward turn in with the pole right here. I'm going to try and take this up as far as I can, and then we'll spin this way. Whee! All right, and right back into the next run. Should work perfectly. Yeah, I have to say this thing is really clipping. I love moving at 14 miles an hour. That's not too bad. I'll be curious to see what it does to our precision farming score as we get into the next year. Right now, if you look here, it's tillage on the bottom and nitrogen on the top. And so we've taken a penalty for tillage and nitrogen, although the nitrogen confuses me since the last crop that we harvested here was soybeans, which doesn't have a nitrogen requirement. So I would have thought we'd gotten a full score for that, but apparently not. Either way, we will see a improved score, I think, when we plant corn here next. And I'm curious to see if this is going to give me my tillage bonus as we put our corn into this or not. We should also see, does this count as mulching? I don't know that it does. Let's check that out of curiosity. Where would that be? It does not count as mulching here. So our corn ground is going to get a mulching bonus from all of the stock choppers on the header, but the bean ground, not so much. Which is interesting to me, because isn't that one of the main reasons you're using a high-speed disc, is to incorporate that bean residue into the topsoil? I'm not sure how that all works out. I wonder if anybody's made a modified version of this that counts as a mulcher. I've got a few VT tools that are in the same category. And something tells me, at least in the past, I had one of those that was set up to do that. If I go under disc harrows, I've got like this VT tool, this one. They don't say they're set up to do mulching, but that would be what logically would make sense to me. It was if you would use that, you'd get a mulching bonus. Mulchers here are typically more the like stock chopper type things. Either way, I'm not looking to get that extra couple of % yield bonus necessarily. Just trying to understand what works and what doesn't. Now we've got one more long pass left on here, and we'll be done with the up-down rows. We'll need to go figure out how we're going to do all these headland passes, but that's a whole separate problem. And it looks like our combine is finished over there, so I'm going to need to jump over there and take care of unloading that. And oh, I can't forget, we've got that corn in the corner still to pick, so I'm going to finish this long row, I think, first, and then we'll jump over there. I think this job went a lot faster than I was anticipating. I don't know why I thought this thing only went like 11 miles an hour, but we've been going 14, which has been a lot of fun. I'm going to shut this down, though, and leave it here for now. And we're going to jump right over into this guy. I'm going to stop course play. He was waiting to unload. We're going to get rid of that course. And we're going to go ahead and pick that corn first before we do the unloading. We're almost out of fuel in this combine as well. I'm noticing a lot of corn on the sides of the field here that we missed. So I'm going to grab those on our way up to the corner just because we are driving by anyway. Oh, we're cutting the grass when we do that. That's always fun. I don't know if there's any unintended consequences of cutting the grass, but we'll follow it up the side here. We'll try to minimize our grass damage. It's interesting to me that the blades count like a mower or something. I wouldn't have expected it to take out the grass, to be honest. It's unexpected. I guess are mulchers just mowers in essentially? Like if I ran a mower over our stalks, would that count as mulching? Or is it a unique field tool that you can use? I'm kind of curious now how that works behind the scenes. Either way, we've got to get this little chunk, and we'll cut in here and get this little chunk, and we should be all done. This was another, I don't remember what we were at, but 3-4 bushels of corn. Maybe not worth the effort in the big picture, but man, it was going to drive me nuts seeing such a large chunk of corn sitting at the end of this field. There we go. This grain cart is just ginormous. It's wider than the combine, I think. We might as well fold the header up and switch over here. We're going to get the pipe in, and then we can fold down our hopper and pipe and get this guy going back up to the farmyard. We're set on the farmyard as a destination, so I think I just need to get out here on the road, since we don't have a point for the field itself. There it is. Off you go, sir. And then, of course, we need to grab our grain cart and also bring this back up to the farm. We can go ahead and get this corn into the bins, and then I think we're ready to start harvesting that big field of corn by the farm there. And we're going to get this guy going back up to the farm here. Hopefully, we've got enough space on the road to not run into things. I'm really worried about hitting the railroad crossing sign, but we'll find out in a second here. Oh, we did. All right. Well, let's back up here and then see if we can fix this, because that's going to be an ongoing problem for us if we don't resolve it now. There we are, and I'm going to drag this one out towards the middle a bit, that one out towards the middle a bit, and we'll do the same thing over here, just because I know we'll have problems if we don't. There we go. All right, shut that down, get it going forward, and play. So I've come to realize we don't actually have a fuel barrel on the farm. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here and let me see if we can find one. There's a Meridian one. This thing is huge. Overlaps. Can I like put it over here? I'd love to just stick it right in front of these windows. I can't. Our farmyard's not super huge. Shop area is restricted. I must have the shop in there. We could put it like right here on the back, I guess. Point it out towards the driveway. Something about like this is going to be the best we can get. Let me turn off snapping. And I'm going to stick it. I'm going to put these poles out a little bit like so. I think that's going to be good. And then we're going to have to put some fuel in there. I don't think it's just a refill point. I think it's a actual container. So I'm going to need to push, is it R? There we are. I don't need 25,000 liters though. I think I'm going to start with maybe 1,000 liters and we'll see how long that lasts us. Get this right back here and it's refilling ever so slowly. Oh my goodness. Oh, this thing, I can see how much liters of diesel this takes in the upper right hand corner. It takes 1,250. So 1,000 isn't going to get us nearly as far as I thought, but it is a place to start. Let me go ahead and come in here and I suppose we'll put some more in. Maybe I'll buy 5,000 liters. That's a lot of money in fuel. My goodness. And I might as well get our other combine all revved up and ready to go here. We did take the time to wash both of these up so that they're nice and clean going into our big cornfield here. And this one's not nearly as empty. We haven't used this combine as much, but we're going to top it off with diesel on the way by as well. This one's all full. So what I'm going to do is we'll get this guy started. Everything unfolding here. And the goal is to start this field off with both combines. And then we'll get back to wrapping up our tillage here. So everything else was unfolding there. Let me get this going. We're going to start unfolding the combine. I've got enough room. We can get the header going as well. Everything kind of unloads slowly, so it pays to go ahead and get those moving when you're just sitting there waiting anyway. And with our first combine, I'm going to get us out into the field so that we can create a course play course here. And this is where we're going to do multiple tools, multiple headland passes. So we've got 2 combines and they each need to make 2 passes. We're going to go around the field center. I am going to go for a lands mode. Rows per land, 6 sounds good. And it is going the right direction. So in theory, this should just all line up. But we're going to find out here in just a second. So let me back this guy up a little bit. First waypoint left. And we forgot to copy the course. I'm going to see if I can catch this guy real quick. We're going to copy this course. And then I do have my combines bought and in order, so I can actually come in here and just paste this in. First waypoint right. And let's get into position because otherwise it'll fold its header up and waste a bunch of time. Somewhere right around here. There we are. And it's looking mighty fine there. So we'll let these 2 get moving. And I think we're going to be good to go. I'm excited here. Now before we send this guy out into the field, we might as well get the corn that I have in here emptied out so that we can have a nice empty grain cart and kind of measure our progress in this field without mixing corn from another field. That's my high level thinking here. So I'm trying to find a spot that I can park this guy and then get a semi alongside him. We're gonna back up here. I think that will lead me in the best spot to do this. We put the fuel tank in the spot that I used last time to park this thing, and plus the grain cart is so large that I wasn't sure I'd be able to make the turn. Oh no, we're backing over some corn there. All right, somewhere right in here should be good. We'll leave it running, and I should be able to make this turn with the semi. We're about to find out. Farm Sim needs a shift 2 gears option. The having to shift 1 gear at a time with each button click is a little slow at times. There we go. Barely fitting in here. If I need to use the back hopper, we're going to have to do some fancy backing up. No, it's going to be close. I think we're going to need to use the next hopper, though. Yep, we are. All right, well, we'll pull forward a bit here. And then I'm going to try and back in here. Not getting as close as I'd like, but I should be able to fix that. We scooch over like so, and then just pull forward. I think we'll be in a perfect position. The other benefit of doing this is it put me in a better spot to turn into our bin site here. I really want to move these silos when I get a chance. We've got them in just an inconvenient location in hindsight. Our tip side should be on the front. Oh no, our tip side was back. Interesting. All right, all emptied out. I'm gonna just pull this back out into the yard so it's easier to find and hop into. And then let's just check the corn dryer, make sure it's still running. It is. We've got some corn. We've got Rowcrop soybeans came through. We're drying corn. We've got propane. You know what? We are going to need some more propane. So I think we'll go ahead and buy another round of propane here just for the fun of it. And because we've had so much goofing off here, I am going to jump into the grain cart and we're going to run out here behind the combine, see if I can catch up with them and get them emptied for the first time. Because I have to imagine that they're going to get full decently quick out here. And then we can jump back over into the bean field and finish up our tillage after we're waiting on the combines to make their next round on the field and get filled up. I'm amazed at how far ahead of me they've already gotten. It looks like they're wrapping around into one of the curvier sections. We're just coming around the backside of the farm here, or we're gonna take a minute to catch up with them at this rate though. They're way out there in the distance. They've got to be getting close to full too. So we're going as fast as we can, 25 miles an hour. Probably feel a lot faster in real life if you were trying to bounce through a cornfield at 25 miles an hour, but we are pedal to the metal trying to get out here, and it's just it's not going to happen before they get full, I don't think, at this rate. We're on the back side of the field here, or coming up on it. I'm surprised the combines made it this far, actually. So we've got that going for us, at least, and he's about to start the turn back up towards the farm. Man, these things must have a little bit bigger hopper size than I give them credit for. I'm looking over here. We've still got a lot of rows left, but it looks like they're covering what the planters covered pretty well. It's hard to tell if we're hitting the rows right. We could have unloaded a bit there, but I got behind. That's okay. We'll wait until it makes the corner. I'm waiting for that lead combine to cut in at some point. We're gonna match speed here. Might as well get the rear combine unloaded here on the go. The lead one will have to wait until it pulls over, or maybe it's going to make it all the way around. I don't know. I'm not giving them nearly the credit for how big these hoppers are. We're not quite emptied on this one, but we're pretty close there. We got 300 bushels out of this combine. Pretty good, I say. Gonna zoom up here a little bit, see if I can get close enough to peek into the hopper on this front combine. get a feel for how full it's getting. It's starting to fill up pretty good there. If I had to guess, I'd say 80% right now, 70% maybe. Either way, let's let him get filled up here and we'll see where he gets to. In the meantime, I'm going to get this guy into position here at least. I think my plan is to go around the outside of the field first and see how we do. And then we can work our way to the inside and cover the little missed bits and stuff we have all over the place. And that means I've got to figure out how to get this thing into the corner here. This is one of the times where the articulated tractor might help us out a little bit if I can get it to let me finagle this thing into the corner. It's looking like I'm about lined up there. We've got some fence back here that I'm going to get hung up in. I don't want to get into a big mess with a bunch of wire there. Let's see if I can straighten this out. We're not quite to the edge, but what I don't want is to end up with my tractor way askew to the implement and have it swing into the fence as soon as I start driving. So I think that's about going to do it. We should be in a good spot now, and we'll get started on this. I think our combine's got to be getting full, though. It is, so let me go ahead and just zip up here. Looks like he's cutting in front of the other combine. A little bit unfortunate if these two end up crashing into each other or something crazy, but hopefully they'll handle waiting their turns patiently enough. I'm gonna zip up here. It didn't quite make it to the corner. It would have been awesome if it could have made it to the corner, but that's all right. If I just get right up in here, I should be able to unload him and then back up out of the way in time for him to make the turn. We've had pretty good luck so far with these combines not crashing into us. It's fun to see so much corn coming in here, and we haven't even finished the headlands. I'm going to be really curious to see how many bushels we pull in off of this one field. We're at just short of 750 bushels now, which is great. I'll let the combine get back over here on its course, and then I'm going to try and unload number 2 again as long as I'm here. Going back to that whole efficiency thing. Might as well have them both be empty at the same time so that when we go get started on our next job, we know that they're going to run for a while. Looks good. We'll leave him here and back out to our tillage. Now, can I get done with all of the headland passes before the combines need to be unloaded again is the question. We're, oh goodness, getting a little bit close to the fence for comfort there. We've got to handle this a little bit better. I think my dead zones in Farm Sim got reset again. I'm moving my steering wheel and it's not actually steering very minutely. That's unfortunate. That's going to cause some problems. I wish I knew why my dead zones get reset in Farm Sim all the time. It's like every time they have any kind of an update, I don't know, there's so many times that they get reset. It's one of the most frustrating things as a steering wheel user that you have to go in and you can't do it in game. If it was a setting I could do while I was in game, that'd be one thing, but I have to go back out to the main menu in order to adjust those settings, and that's just it's ridiculous. Let's get back to the farming though here. I'm all over the place. We're missing a few rows here and there. It shouldn't hurt our precision farming score too much, I don't think, though. In fact, it's probably better that we don't do the tillage because I'm pretty sure our planter is set up as a direct drill. I think we can plant right into this ground without having to do tillage at all. I can't remember for sure. I'd have to look at that planter again. But I don't remember doing tillage on bean ground in the past when I've used that same planter. However, it is the Rowcrop Ready version, so maybe it's different. I'm not sure. We'll find out, I suppose, when we go to start planting. And I'm seeing that our combine got stuck in the corner again. I think I left it on smooth corners instead of sharp corners, and that's going to be our downfall on this first pass of the headlands, unfortunately. I'm going to have to jump out here and fix him, but in order to fix the guy that's stuck, that means I have to stop the other guy or he'll continue as soon as I stop him. It's just a never-ending stream of mess here, so let's go ahead and get that guy reset for a second, and we'll get that guy reset for a second, bring him back in, put the header down. I could just get rid of these fences once and for all. That would also be a solution to the problem, but one thing at a time. Whoa, why is it cutting me way over there? Oh, because it's left of the line, not on the line. Yuck, yuck, yuck. You've used courseplay before. Here we go. Nearest waypoint, one left. And off he goes. This guy, whoops, we're in the corn. This guy should be able to just resume on the latest waypoint. I think that's going to resolve all of our problems. He should have enough space to turn because he's on the right side of the path. We're going to find out. Yeah, it looks good. All right. And they're only 12% full right now. That should be more than enough time to keep pushing on our headlands here. So let's back up here. We kind of pushed ourselves up into the yard. Not exactly the best spot to get turned around here. And it looks like I missed a little bit along the fence here. So I'm going to try and just turn it into this and take care of that. Get rid of this obnoxious courseplay window. And hopefully won't hit that fence. We got to get backed up a little bit though. Now this is doing a great job with the headlands. We have enough to overlap both ways. In fact, I'm going to try and center myself a little bit better here. This is unexpectedly easy. We should have gotten this close on the other side in some spots. I think we're going to have to go clean up like a little bits here and there, unfortunately, because I didn't do as good of a job of lining myself up with the headland rows, but this is cruising. I love driving this fast doing a job like this. Yeah, we've got this whole area down here on the peninsula that we just didn't keep doing the up-down rows because they were so short. So I think it's going to make sense to just handle these as part of the headlands, zip around here, get it all tilled up. I wish I could do something like this for the deeper tillage that the corn ground's going to require. Unfortunately, not so much, but we do have a pretty wide piece of tillage equipment that we're going to be able to use to do the plowing on the corn ground, which this tractor, I'm going to be hooking that up for as soon as we're done with the high-speed tillage and getting going on the corn ground next. I'm not sure. I should have checked if we had any fertilizer that we needed to spread. I think we put lime down on all of our ground ahead of time though, and I don't plan on doing any nitrogen here like this. We'll put the nitrogen on when we plant, so I think we'll be good to go. Just cleaning up a few of these missed bits and bobs. Man, I'm all over the place. We could have got closer to that waterway. It's all right. I'm gonna jump back across and take care of this last little bit on the far side here, and then we'll take care of that little bit that I just missed all the way down the waterway on the other side. There we are, and I'll lift it up and spin around, and I've left it in the higher gear. I was just curious if we could actually get to 15 miles an hour, but it doesn't look like it. That's okay. And I think what we'll do is I'll follow the outside path down, making sure I do a little bit of overlap. Since it's clear, I'm going to have to make one more pass back down to this end of the field anyway. I think we should be able to get it all with one more full round. So we'll do it this way just to make sure I'm not leaving any gaps along the outside headland. because all the little gaps along the field are the ones that we're gonna be cleaning up if we do have any that we miss. There's a few big areas over there. Oh, we're crowding a little close to the edge of the field. I blame the steering wheel once again. All right, now I'm not sure about this either. I've never actually run a high-speed disc in real life, but I think it's one of those things that really only works well once you're going up to speed. I don't think it is necessarily that effective of a implement if you're just going a couple miles an hour. I think it actually needs to be running at a decent speed to get the dirt moving. However, it's working great for what we need it to do here. I'm going to hit these last few bits along the field, and then we're going to send this out to our other bean field and get it started with some course play and knock out that larger bean field. I don't expect it to take that long. In fact, I think it'll probably go faster than this one did, just because the worker won't have to stop while we're out in the other field managing the harvest. So we'll get this lifted up. I'm actually going to fold it up because otherwise I don't think I can get out of this driveway. And we'll zip out onto the road for 100 feet here and get back into the field. We could probably just take that fence down and then I could get across without having to come out onto the road. That might be a good idea for the future. But alas, we're a little bit lazy for that. And I'm going to stick us right in this section like I did before with the combines. I think we're going to do about 3 headlands with this thing. 439 does not seem like the right width for this thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is 39. And we're going to start working on the center rows, do up-down rows. Let's see what you've got. It is going to do them at a bit of a weird angle here, but I think I'm going to be okay with that. I don't know why it's trying to do any with this, since there's more than enough headland passes to take care of it. We're going to get totally stuck whenever it tries to do that, but I'm going to let it go, and we'll come back and figure that out when the time comes. This guy is going to be off. We'll check in on him in a little bit here, but right now we need to get in our grain cart, and look at that, we've got the combines coming right here. In a perfect world, I'd be unloading them on the long row here. I'm going to try and get turned around without hitting that fence. Didn't quite manage that, but hopefully with this articulated tractor here I can make this turn. There it is. And we're gonna come right back in behind this combine. It almost wasn't worth it to do the turnaround, but if I can get a few feet on him before he gets to the end, I think that'll keep him moving here. And that's really my goal. So as long as we pull that off, we've been successful. Success. And that's really probably enough to keep him moving, but I don't know if I have enough room to turn around again and get the other combine. So I'm going to stop, and I'm going to start backing up here, and I'll see if I can come in behind combine number 2. Oh, AI worker Philip has a full grain tank. He didn't quite make it for some reason, so we're going to have to get fully turned around here. Bump into our fence one more time. I guess I didn't quite unload them at exactly the same spot in time. That's all right. I'm gonna get worker 2 unloaded, and then we're gonna catch back up with our front combine there and finish unloading him all the way. I have to say, trying to do this job in cab, not as bad as I thought it'd be. You've got a little bit of a view up there, but oh my gosh, articulated tractors. All right, looking good. Ooh, we've got the scale back there too. I almost forgot about it. Oh, we're drifting towards the cornfield again. Yeah, not as hard as I thought it'd be, but still too difficult for my skill set. Alas. we will get the hang of this eventually. We'll do a better job of getting the steering wheel dead zone zeroed in before the next episode. That's the trick. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, did I actually get this guy emptied out, though? That's the question. So it felt like he still had some. There we go. We're just ticking now. We're going to get caught up. That front combine has got to be starting to get a little bit full. Now, I don't think the Rowcrop Ready should have much effect on this map at this stage. I think that's only when you're planting, but I am noticing that we don't have the best frame rates going right now. I know I do have a handful of drivers going on course play, but man, I can usually run a lot more equipment on a map without hitting these kind of numbers. Where's my thing? We're dipping down into 28 FPS right now. That shouldn't be happening at all. So I'm going to have to dig into that and figure out what's going on. Oh my goodness, we didn't catch him before he's trying to cut through the field. I don't think he's empty enough for this. I think that's going to be a problem. Well, I guess I'm just going to park him here in the row so that I'm ready to go. When he gets full, I'm going to have to zip all the way down there and unload him. It is what it is, though. Just jumping over here real quick before I forget, we're going to check in on the tillage. It's just getting started, which is great. Looks good. We're going almost perpendicular to the rows. Probably not the best angle to be doing the tillage at, but you know what? It's working. We're not going to mock it. Course play is doing its thing, and we will be able to knock this field out in no time. I just want to see when it turns around up here if we're having to back up a bunch or not, or did 3 rows get us what we need? It's always the question for the future to try and remember if we need more headland passes or not. But no, 3 rows looks like it's doing its job. Everything's lined up where it should be. Well, with that all checked in and out of the way, I think we're going to wrap up today's episode here. And next episode, we will finish up this corn harvest, I think, finally. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see us add to the farm next. As you can see, I'm not afraid to make some big purchases and get some things moving on the farm here. I think we'll have to consider if we're going to continue doing Rowcrop Ready or switch to the normal version of this map in the next episode. We're not going to do the switch next episode, but it's going to be coming over the winter if we do make that switch. But I'm not ready to make a big decision like that just yet. That's all for today. Kedurk out.